Hello. Today we can start with higher order functions. Anyhow, we have completed with functions. Now let us move to some advanced type of functions which will be helpful for our coding. When we are trying to build some big programs, right? So big set of programs, these type of functions may come into picture and may help us to code very easily. So now let us move on to higher order functions. So higher order functions are of three types, mainly map function, filter function, reduce function. So let us focus on each individual one. Now let us start with map function. So map function executes a specified function on each element of the iterable and perhaps changes the element. Like map function is used to execute a particular function over the iterables and perhaps results in the changes of element, which results in the changes of element. So the syntax is map function name comma iterable. So iterable can be list, tuple, string, anything. So if you look into the example, we have an ls1 is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 as an iterable, and we have an function def func1 is equal to func1 l is equal to l plus 2 return l. So this is the function which we need to act on each and every iterable of the iterable object. Sorry. The result, so the final output should be, I have called it as result and I have created a map function. In that I have given the function name as func1 which I have created and an iterable ls1. So when I print the result variable which is a map function, I will get the map function results, and if I try to print its type, so it returns an object called map. So in order to get its element, I'm using an for loop for I in res, so I'm printing the elements. So I think it's bit clear here. So try to execute this map function in the code editor, then you will come to know the exact working procedure of it. Map example dot py. So here I will create an, for the syntax of map function is, so map, so function name and iterable. So this is the syntax, right? So now let us work on this. Let me create an example. I will take ls1 as example, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So this is my iterable. So I have to define a function in order to perform this function on an iterable objects like 1 2 3 4 5 and return a set of values by performing a function 1 on this iterable object. So let me create a function. Here func1, I will use var1 as the variable, where var1 is equal to, var1 is equal to var1 plus 1 or 2. I will add 2 so for better results. So return var1. So we will return the var1. Now I will try to create a temporary variable and I will try to run the map function by calling arguments func1 and ls1 iterable object. So that was the index or a syntax defines. So map function name comma iterable. So I have given the map function 1 and ls1 as the iterable are the two formal arguments for a map function, and I'm storing this map function in a temporary variable a. Now I will try to print the result a, then I will print its type as well. So if you get, so the output will be in terms of map object, and then the class type will be map. So in order to access its map elements, we need to use for loop. So before that, I will try to run this function. So as I said, so once this map functions runs on this function and iterable, it returns a map object, and you could able to see its type as map. So in order to access its map elements in the map function, we can make use of for loop for I in a. Oh, sorry. Print I. So when I run this, you could able to see the changes in the iterable elements. So let me explain this, how this map function works. So as I clearly said in the explanation of slide, so it will be having two set of formal arguments. One is function one and another one is iterable. So the iterable will be the sequence data types such as list, tuples, strings. So here I have taken list as an example for your understanding convenience. So, and I have defined a function. So what exactly map function is used to do is, map function is used to perform a set of operation on an iterable objects and perhaps returns the changes in the elements. So it do some operation and come up with some changes in the elements, and it will be listed in the form of map objects. And in order to get the elements from the map objects, we can make use of for loop. So that's the complete description of map function. So here, as I said, the ls1 will be the iterable, and I'm defining a function which is known as func1. So I'm using an var1 as a variable. So the variable represents an iterable objects in an iterable. So var1 can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything which will be available in the iterable. So these are the elements, or also called as iterable objects. So on this var1, I'm performing an operation which is var1 plus 2. So initially, whenever a function starts, the initial value will be 1. So the var1 will be 1. So var1 is equal to 1 plus 2 will be 3. Now it returns the value 3. So that's the first output. So when I call this function, the func1 will be called on ls1. Initially, the first element will be 1, hence 1 plus 2 will be 3. And again, the func1 will be called on ls1. Again, the second element will be 2. 2 plus 2 will be 4. And again, this func1 will be called ls1 until all the elements of an iterable object should be accessed or processed with the function func1. So all the elements should be processed with the help of func1. So for the second element, 2 plus 2 will be 4. For the third element, 3 plus 2 will be 5. And the fourth element, 4 plus 2 will be 6. And the fifth element, 5 plus 2 will be 7. And hence everything will be stored into this variable a. So the variable a will be map object, because a variable is processing a map function on func1 and ls1. So the output will be in terms of map object. Hence when you print the temporary variable a, you will get an value as map object. In order to get the type of an temporary variable, you could have able to make use of typecasting, which is type of a, in order to get its type. So hence it is clearly mentioned it's a map object. Now the type will be also a map. So to access or to get the list of elements which are all processed by map function, so you could able to make use of for loop. So for I in a, so print I. So whatever the elements which be available in this map function, right, everything will be listed out in the row with the help of for loop. So this is the actual procedure how exactly the map function works. Now let us look back into the site, and I think I have explained each and every content of the map function, and this is the example of the code execution of map function. So I think we are done with the map function. So that's all for the day. Thank you.